G'day guys. This little video is going to be about cold steel triad lock folders, but mainly it's really based around this Talwar. Okay, so it's the most expensive cold steel folder that I have. This box doesn't, oh, it's got some details on it. Okay, so this cost me $329 Australian. Don't know what it is in the US or what other shops in Australia might charge for it. Probably more than that. I know my local's pretty good on prices. So after carrying this around for about a solid 24 hours ish, and just playing around with it after owning it. I've only owned it for 2.5-ish days, so these are just my quick thoughts on it. I didn't pay the $329 for it, and I didn't go and buy it specifically, but I already had paid for quite a few cold steel items that hadn't turned up in a couple of years. So I spoke to my local shop and told them that I'd just like to exchange it for something. So I told them that for the equal value, which was right on $329, that's exactly what this happened to be. So it just worked out good for both of us that I decided to get this. I know this is a bit of a cold steel fanboy sort of a knife if you're into your access locks and big XL size slashes. This definitely is one of those big XL, extra large sort of slasher type knives. For its size, I don't consider it really too weighty. It's a little bit slab-sided feeling, but if you want something that you're gonna put in your pocket or wear on your belt or on your person, you're gonna carry it around a lot, and you don't want it to print or for whatever reason. If you're just gonna carry it a lot, and you, especially in a pocket, you kind of don't want something that's going to be like really sort of round and designed for comfort. To me, this isn't your everyday pocket knife. Sure, some people probably do carry it. However, to me, this is an offensive or a defensive sort of a knife. Sure, you can use it for any task, but most people, I'm pretty sure they know what they're holding. They got it for. Gives you a couple of handle options. There's a bit of strong jimping up the top here, which is actually quite good. So it allows you to sort of choke up instead of putting. There is that wave tab on there, which also is actually like in a really good spot too, if you wanted to do a little bit of whittling or fine control work with the bottom of the blade here. That actually works really well. It feels really good just with my thumb right there, but choking up and putting your thumb on top of the wave, that feels fantastic too. Yeah, it gives you the classic long handle hold as well down here, which will give you another couple of extra inches of reach for those slashing tasks. And I like to use the OK grip as well, and I can see that gives a really good flicking, slashing motion. Now I use a hammer all the time at work, and I use the OK grip on my hammers, so that worked really well, and that would definitely slash up well. The shape of the blade, everything about the blade is designed for slashing. So and I think that long handle that long-handled grip down here with an OK sort of a flick would be fantastic for the long reach, attacking the hand sort of an opponent sort of knife, weapon hand or whatever it is. If it's in a self-defensive scenario, that'll give you that extra reach and good leverage, and especially like this little hook here, when you are doing that OK grip, you can really use your little finger to really give it a nice snap at the end there. So yeah, this would, like, I'm sure would go very close, if not lopping off fingers, if you struck the hand with that. So I think it would definitely do everything that most people expect it to do, and it would do it well. You can flip the pocket clip over. However, it also has S35 VN steel, for those who want to know, like a good stainless, like your entry level super steely stainless steely things. It also has a I really don't know what the real intention for that is, whether that's like a bone breaker or something like that, just a smaller edge so you can do a back strike, maybe a cut and a slash, and then you can come back again. I'm not really in the, even though the triad lock's really a strong lock, I still really wouldn't like to think of the idea of using that to you know, whack the back of the blade on purpose, you know, with your bare hand here. I think that's, but you know, there's probably, I have been thinking of other ways that it could be used. You know, you could use it as like a slap or a push, you know, tool, but you could also use it for just a tool on scraping, or I don't know, you could come up with something if you needed it. But I'm sure that that's what the intention is. Maybe it's to lighten it, I don't know. However, this is the Raj 2 and this is the Voyager. So to be honest, if I was to carry one of these three around as a potential defensive tool, I kind of like the XL Voyager, to be honest. Now that I've sort of played around with these, yeah, I've done a little bit of cookery machete chopping work with these, with the Raj 2. It is a big heavy knife, and yes, I've carried it around, put it in. I don't really use my pockets, I sort of hang this off my belt or off my shorts, but it's a very high ride with the way that they've got this belt clip. It rides quite high, which, yeah, it does give you something to purchase to pull it out, and that's probably to aid the wave feature, which this has also got the wave feature. Actually, something else about that is I've done a little bit of practice with the wave feature. I think it's one of these things where you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. I sort of sit in the middle. To me, the wave feature and pocket deploying is just a fidgeting thing, and just something to practice just for the sake of practicing it. A, because I don't carry them in my pockets. B, what I have noticed is, same with my chopping and same with a lot of the stuff that I've been doing in some of my videos as well at my old place. A lot of my time, my dog's my little shadow. Everywhere I go, my dog goes. And you have to be mindful of what's around you, who's around you, because that wave feature, to get it to work really well, you end up doing a backward deploy with a big, sharp, heavy blade that's got a lot of inertia when it's opening, and especially at the back of the throw, at the back of the fling. If there's someone standing behind you, you're going to cut them, you got to think what's behind you for about 4 to 5 feet, you know, so that's a lot of space. And if you're in a crowded environment, on a bus, in a club or a shop or something like that, there's a chance that there could be somebody behind you. There's a chance that if that's your only deploy that you practice, that you could smash your hand on something, and then that deployment that you need for your defensiveness or the defense of somebody else, your hand could get in the road and that stuffs up your opening, and that could be you gone. So I don't really like that pocket deployment with the wave feature. I've practiced a little bit, and you know, I've done it before and just missed my dog by like a couple of inches and just went, wow. Okay, so that's a lesson learned for me. So I'd prefer you guys to learn that lesson from me than rather learn it the hard way. And then on that note, and then when it comes to just a normal deployment using the wave feature on the Raj 2, it's not bad. Okay, but what I found with the Talwar is this part of the knife is very deep, and to get a good purchase on there with your thumb and everything, yeah, you can do it, but it feels like you've really got to put a fair bit of effort into getting your hand into that position, and yeah, like that, it doesn't always go first time. Where I find no wave feature on the Voyager, but I find the Voyager's thumb stud seems to work that little bit better. Size for size, very similar. Handle's a little bit longer on the Talwar. The blades are both 5.5 inches. Thickness is very similar. Weight, everything's very similar. This is a slightly a little bit lighter in my opinion. The handle's slightly shorter, but not by much. Maybe half an inch to 3/4 of an inch thereabouts. But the handle's still the same shape, so you can still choke up nicely there. There is some jimping up the top there, not as aggressive as the Talwar, but to me, similar. This is a really comfortable knife, to be honest. It's less than half the price, and I just like the feel of this one. I can feel it is a little bit lighter, but to me, I don't have the biggest hands in the world, but they're not pussy little hands. But I actually like the feel of this one in that choked up position. Anyway, when you choke up, this still doesn't feel bad at all. This still feels okay. I think my hand just fits this one better. That's why I like it. But it still gives you the option to, you know, do this long handle grip. And again, I like using the OK grip. Nice and flicky, nice and slashy. And that's why I got serrated edges on this one, because it's only really got one purpose, and that's to slash. And I believe the serrated edge is going to slash through whatever it has to slash through to get through to the skin. So whether that's fur, whether that's leather, thick skin, clothing, whatever it might be, or just as an emergency, if this is what you're carrying in an emergency, this is probably going to cut a seat belt or something like that, or leather clothing, to cut a boot off or something like that. I think the serrated blade is going to do a slightly better job than the plain edge. So I'm actually buying another one of these in with the clip point with the plain edge as well, so I've got one of those on back order, just because I actually like this knife a lot. So I'm actually finding with a lot of my knives that the most expensive options aren't always the most comfortable and the best. Okay, so anyway, this video's gone on for long enough now. See you guys later.